Imagine our planet, a pale blue dot suspended in a sunbeam. On this tiny stage, a grand drama unfolds, not just of kings and empires, but of survival against invisible foes. We share Earth with countless microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, and more. Most of the time we coexist, but sometimes a microbe goes rogue, multiplying and spreading with explosive force. When a new disease sweeps the globe, we call it a pandemic, a force that can rewrite human history. Pandemics test our science, governments, economies, and societies. They reveal our vulnerabilities but also our resilience and ingenuity. These events force us to confront our place in the web of life, reminding us we're part of a vast, interconnected system. Understanding pandemics lets us see how we got here, what we've learned, and how we might face future challenges. We build cities, explore space, and decode life's blueprint, yet a microscopic organism can halt our civilization. It's humbling. This cosmic dance with microbes has shaped our evolution, cultures, and destiny. It's a story of fear and loss, but also discovery, cooperation, and hope. So, let's journey through time, witnessing the fall of empires and the birth of new ideas, all through the lens of pandemics. This isn't just a history lesson, it's an exploration of our enduring relationship with the invisible world around us. It's about survival, how we've faced down deadly forces and managed time and again to endure and thrive. Fasten your seatbelts, the past is a wild ride. Let's begin. Our journey begins in ancient Athens, around 430 BCE, during the Peloponnesian War. To protect his people, Pericles brought everyone inside the city walls, a military move, but a public health disaster. Overcrowding turned Athens into a breeding ground for disease. A mysterious plague erupted, killing nearly a third of the population, including Pericles. Social order collapsed. Athens was brought to its knees not by war, but by a microbe. Fast forward 1,000 years to the Byzantine Empire under Justinian. As Justinian sought to restore Rome's glory, a new invader arrived, the bubonic plague, carried by fleas on rats from Egypt. The plague of Justinian swept through Constantinople, killing thousands daily and radiating across continents. The pandemic crippled the empire, shattering its economy and killing up to 50 million over 2 centuries. This demographic catastrophe weakened Byzantium, altering European history forever. Microbes, not armies, often decide the fate of empires. The lesson: pandemics can change the course of civilization. Now, the Black Death, the most infamous pandemic in history. In the mid-1300s, Yersinia pestis returned, traveling the Silk Road and arriving in Europe in 1347. Within 5 years, it killed up to 60% of Europe's population. The plague spread in 3 forms: bubonic, septicemic, and pneumonic, the last airborne and terrifyingly contagious. Society collapsed, doctors and priests died, cities emptied, and the living struggled to cope. The aftermath transformed Europe. Labor shortages empowered peasants, feudalism weakened, and innovation surged. The plague helped end the Middle Ages and sparked the Renaissance. Iconic plague doctor masks, stuffed with herbs, were early attempts at protection, misguided but a step toward modern PPE. The Black Death was a brutal teacher, forcing humanity to adapt and rethink its world. It showed that pandemics don't just kill, they reshape societies. Out of devastation came social upheaval and new beginnings. The world that emerged was forever changed. Even in darkness, humanity found ways to move forward. The Black Death's legacy is one of transformation. In 1492, Columbus's voyage began a biological catastrophe for the Americas. Europeans brought diseases like smallpox, measles, and influenza, unknown to indigenous peoples who had no immunity. The result, the Great Dying, a demographic collapse that dwarfed even the Black Death. Smallpox was especially deadly, wiping out entire villages and shattering empires like the Aztec and Inca. Disease, more than conquest, enabled European domination. Up to 90% of indigenous populations perished within a century. The loss was so vast that abandoned farmland reforested, pulling carbon from the air and possibly contributing to the Little Ice Age. A virus, not a sword, changed the fate of continents, and even the planet's climate. The Great Dying is a stark reminder of the power of microbes. Pandemics can alter history on a global scale. The consequences echo through time. As World War I ended, a new killer emerged, the 1918 Spanish flu. This H1N1 influenza virus spread rapidly, aided by global troop movements. Unlike typical flu, it struck healthy young adults hardest, triggering deadly immune overreactions. The pandemic infected a third of humanity and killed up to 100 million, more than the war itself. Cities shut down, masks became mandatory, and fear gripped the world. The Spanish flu pushed science forward, launching modern virology and epidemiology. It was a harsh lesson. Even in the modern age, we're vulnerable to nature's smallest threats. The name influenza comes from the old belief in cosmic influence, when the real culprit was right here on Earth. The 1918 pandemic changed medicine and public health forever. In the early 1980s, doctors noticed rare diseases in young gay men, signs of a new pandemic, HIV/AIDS. HIV attacks the immune system, spreading through bodily fluids, not the air. The virus hit marginalized communities hardest, fueling stigma and discrimination. Activists fought for research, treatment, and dignity, transforming medical advocacy. Antiretroviral therapy, developed in the 1990s, turned HIV from a death sentence into a manageable condition. Scientists traced HIV to chimpanzees in Central Africa, likely crossing to humans in the early 20th century. The story of HIV/AIDS is one of tragedy, activism, and scientific triumph. It reminds us that pandemics are social as well as medical battles. Our journey ends in the present, with COVID-19. In late 2019, a new coronavirus emerged in Wuhan, China, and spread globally at jet speed. The digital age let us watch the pandemic unfold in real time, information and misinformation alike. Science responded with unprecedented speed, delivering vaccines in record time. But the pandemic also exposed deep inequalities and tested our social fabric. Essential workers bore the brunt, vulnerable communities suffered most. COVID-19 forced a reckoning with our interconnectedness and the fragility of our systems. Each pandemic, from Athens to today, has taught us we are part of nature and our fates are linked. Science, trust, and cooperation are our best defenses. The story of pandemics is the story of humanity, crisis, response, and renewal. Our cosmic dance with microbes continues, shaping our future.